Hi everyone, Augustina Holtz with John Arwood Properties. I want to welcome you to the channel. I want to welcome you to the program. This is a series of videos that I'm working on to introduce you to professionals in our community and help them to bring to you their services and just have you get a better idea of who they are. Today we have Alina Gonzalez-Dockery, and she is an attorney in the Fort Myers area. Let me just tell you a little bit about what I know about Alina. She is, her firm is Life Law Planning. And the thing that I liked about it when I looked at her website was it is Life Law Planning, legacy planning for the modern family. And that's really important. I think that's kind of a fresh approach to what we know about attorneys and what they do. She is a member of the Florida Bar since 1996. She is a member of the Veterans Advocacy and Benefits Association. And she comes to us from Lakeland, Florida. And welcome to the program, Alina.
Thank you so much, Augustina. I appreciate you including me in this program and giving me this opportunity to introduce myself to your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I really am I just love the fact that we get to talk and have a conversation. And thank God for technology. So here we are. You're at home. I'm at my home. So welcome to my home. And if you hear any cats come in or dryers going off, it's
it's what it is.
Part
of
the, yes, exactly.
So Alina, tell me a little bit about your background and like what inspired you to become an attorney.
So I'm a first generation American born from Cuban refugees. My parents are Cuban refugees. They came over with my brother when he was only 18 months old in 1961. Mm-hmm. My friends joke and say that I am the country Cuban because I was born and raised in Lakeland, Florida, which is Polk County. So my southern accent comes out sometimes. But growing up, my grandmother would tell me stories of my grandfather who passed away when he was young, and he was a phenomenal attorney in Cuba. Mm-hmm. He was basically the equivalent to our attorney general here. He was politically involved, but he was more about the community and social justice, and it just, knowing that there was this person in my that was part of my history, my ancestry, that did such incredible, fabulous things, really gave back to his community, but also was providing for his family and such. I just thought that was so great. So my grandmother, who I lost about 20 years ago, she was such an important factor in my life. So knowing the stories of Cuba and stories of my grandfather, and apparently I look just like him, so it just seemed fitting to follow in his footsteps.
That's awesome. So, that's awesome that we take our generations before us, and it really is part of us. So I appreciate that. And so tell me about your firm now, and what areas that you serve, what areas of law you practice, and your clients rather, and how you serve your clients.
Well, I began my firm, Life Law Planning, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I would say I formally opened my office 2 years ago here in Fort Myers. Prior to that, I was an executive director of 2 legal aid organizations, the most recent here in Lee County Legal Aid, and prior to that, Heart of Florida Legal Aid, which was for Polk, Highlands, and Hardy counties. And I was in private practice in Lakeland, Florida for, I would say, 13 years. It's amazing to me. I've been practicing 23 plus years now.
You look back, it's like, how long have I been doing this? It seems like forever.
It's always new. There's something fresh coming up. Well, after 9 years of doing nonprofit work, I realized that I was giving so much of myself to the organization, to the community, that I missed having those direct connections and serving clients. And And I really needed to connect with myself as well, because I gave myself so much that I lost my own voice in the process. So I started life law planning with the modern family in mind, with those families that were previously either married and have children from previous relationships, and have joined and created a new relationship. I'm going to date myself. It's very much like the Brady Bunch. I was once married. I was part of that. I had the most amazing, beautiful stepchildren that were teenagers. And knowing that there is a blending of a family, creating a new family, and securing that legacy that you created so that your children are also going to reap the benefits of what you have sown before this relationship and also far as afterwards. That's why I created Life Law Planning. I have been a divorce attorney for 23 plus years. I continue to do it. I'm still am. And that's when I saw that there was a niche that was being very underserved. People think that estate planning is only for those that are multi-millionaires or decamillionaires, and that they don't need it, especially now with the capital gains or the estate tax so high.
Right.
However, anyone with young children must have a plan in place. They have to have a trust plan. Anybody who is blending their family should have a trust plan, so that not only are the new couple and family feel secure and stable, but that you're also securing your stability for your children in the future as well. One of the things that I feel very strongly for now, because everything has changed.
Right.
You know, we have this, beautiful royal bug, Corona, or Rona, as most people are saying, and she has changed the makeup and the need for many people. And if anything, what this pandemic has brought about is the necessity to plan. And when I mean plan, is not just your wills, not just your trust, it's not to be in that, to get into a remorseful type of, doom and gloom type of thing. It's not that. It is making sure that you have your health surrogates designation forms filled out, so that if in case that you have to go to the doctor, or if in case that someone in your family becomes incapacitated, you can handle their medical needs. Have your durable power of attorneys ready and set. I can tell you, I have a client now. Her mother is in a fully assisted living facility. She had to petition the court to become the guardian. And now every repair that she has to make to the home, every upgrade she makes to the home, she has to now go back to the court and get court permission. If we had had proper power of attorney available, she wouldn't have to go to the court and spend attorneys' fees, money on fees and such, to be able to make these necessary repairs. So I really believe, and I want everybody to have their paperwork secure, have your children's guardianship papers intact. And it's not just because of what is going on today, but it also is to give a peace of mind to know that you have set up everything so that your family knows what your wishes are. You have planned it out. That I'm even offering anybody who emails me, I will prepare your health surrogate paperwork, and I will provide you the durable power of attorney for free. I usually do this like for $250 to $500, depending on the complexity of the paperwork. But for right now, this is how strongly I believe in this, in that I will provide this for free as a service, so that people are well taken care of and guarded.
And I appreciate that. And I think you stressed upon a point of having power of attorney in place before it gets to where a guardianship has to be made. Talk a little bit, if you can, about the difference between power of attorney and guardianship.
A durable power of attorney in Florida, it becomes immediate.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you want someone who you trust.
Okay.
But what the durable power of attorney is you get to choose what powers this agent on your behalf becomes.
Mm-hmm.
So in the event of, let's say, I'm going to use myself. I'm single. I live by myself here in Fort Myers. If, say, I were to become incapacitated temporarily,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I need someone to handle my finances, to take care of my bills, any property, things like that, I have designated my sister and my brother-in-law who live in Florida to be those people. They are also, my brother and my sister are designated as my health surrogates in the
Okay.
event that they should happen. So now, because I have designated them as my durable power of attorney, if anything should happen, they had the papers to show proof to, whether it's hospitals, whether it's to banks, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's to landlords for like office buildings, anything like that. They have the proof that they can make all these decisions on my behalf. And they still have responsibilities. They have fiduciary duties to maintain or improve my financial basis.
Okay.
Now, that is done outright, and you choose. Now,
Right.
let's say, for instance, you don't have a durable power of attorney. In the instance, I will use my client's mother. Um, she had a power of attorney. She named her husband. Her husband predeceased her.
Mm.
There was no subsequent, and that's the other thing that's very important. In your power of attorneys, always have a secondary agent and a
Okay.
third agent. So that way, if one cannot act in your behalf, you have other alternatives. So
Okay.
because there was no alternative agents, she had to hire an attorney, that would be me.
Mm-hmm.
She had to pay a filing fees, for the guardianship and petition for incapacity. She also had to pay for the attorney ad litem that was appointed by the court to represent her mother, so more attorney's fees.
Right.
And then we petitioned the court. We got an emergency petition. And then after that, she had to reimburse or pay for the expenses of three experts to determine whether or not her mother was truly incapacitated.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking, I would say, nearly $10,000 in fees just in that. And I know it's not about the
Wow.
money, but that I think that that's something that we can look at. Um, and then So once we got the guardianship, once her mother was declared incompetent, once we got the guardianship, she is the guardian over her property, over her health, over everything. But now, because she's guardian, any repairs that needs to be done for the property, and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
talking like little repairs. I'm talking if you want to, change a roof because the roof is bad,
Okay.
you have foundational issues. She has to go to the court before she can expend any funds, because the
Wow.
court's purpose is to determine whether there's enough funds to sufficiently care for the mother.
Okay.
Also, she has to provide an accounting. So every expense, every receipt, everything she has to account for, and now file an accounting with the court in an inventory so the court sees where everything is at.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a simple Excel spreadsheet. It's actually an involved, detailed report.
Okay.
Um, how do I put this? I used to have a professor from law school that used to say, when the camel's nose enters your home, you can never
Mm-hmm.
remove the camel. And that is
Okay.
basically what you're doing, is by having to go the guardianship route, whether even if it's a temporary guardianship or a plenary, which is a permanent guardianship,
Mm-hmm.
you are inviting the camel's nose. You're inviting the court to constantly be in your
Okay.
home. You're inviting other parties into your home, and really you give up the freedom to make what you believe is the best decisions for your parent, for your spouse, for whomever, or not necessarily your spouse, but for children or whatever, because you always have to have the court's approval.
Okay. And I think it's really important to stress the difference, because I understand the difference, and I know that you're about preparedness and preparation before you get to that point. And I appreciate that in helping our viewers understand that there are things that you can put in place now where it's not so much of a stress that will prepare you for the future. Also with your children, you know, they grow up so fast and you never, the life could be uncertain at times. And it's really important to prepare for their future any way that you can now. And that's where you come in to really help them to understand the piece parts and understand the opportunities that they have to provide for their family. So I appreciate that. Now, is there anything else that we should know about you, Alina, before we sign off? I know where we met, but let's just give a little story about how we met. I reached out to Alina because we have so many great opportunities now to partner up with professionals in our area. And I read a little bit about her and I reached out to her to say, hey, what, you know, how can we provide service to our customers and our clients? And she replied to me, and here we are, and we just had a really great conversation, and I felt that she was the person that I wanted to work with because of her personality and her professionalism, and I just thought that it would be a really great match to partner up with you.
No, I felt the same. Once we got on I believe we talked on the phone for the first time, and it was an immediate connection. You know, one of the things that I will say that I appreciate the most about you is that you are so uplifting. You have such a beautiful energy about you. I know it sounds woo, but I'm woo. I'm not woo woo, but I am a woo person. And that when I say that is that I love the fact that you're positive, because especially today's day, we are in a time that no one has, what is it? All over the world, we're experiencing the same thing for the first time in our lifetimes. We are all, the whole globe is experiencing this. I don't like to use fear, you know, but it is. There is a fear. There's an uncertainty. And this is the time that we can take to grow ourselves and the growth opportunities that we have in reaching out and providing more services. And one of the things that I truly appreciate about you, Augustina, is that you take your clients and treat them as if they were family, and you care for them. And it's not about the transaction. It's not about the sale. It's truly making sure that what their needs are being met, and that it is, you're not pushing them to stretch beyond where they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It is truly taking care of them, and that's something that I value, because I want to take care of my clients. I want to be there for them, and I want to ensure that they are taken care of and their children are taken care of. I am very blessed. I have the most loving and supportive parents, and that check up on me, and they're in their 80s. I can't see them right now. I mean, they're up in Lakeland. My dad just turned 88. I can't be there for his birthday, but we're in contact and stuff. But the one thing that my dad and my mom were always saying is like, "How are you? You know, what are we doing?" And we're talking more. I don't know about you, but I'm talking more to friends. I'm reaching out to more of my family during this time, and I think that's also very important. But what I really liked about our first conversation and what I got about you is that you truly care and you are there for your clients, just as I want to be there for my clients during this time.
So I think this is going to be a good partnership. I appreciate your coming on with me today. Alina, how could your potential clients, get in touch with you?
I am still fully operational. I mean, I'm doing more things virtual. One of the beautiful pivots for this time. They can reach me at 239-789-2533. And that is the phone number. My receptionist service is still, fully operational. They may reach me via email, alina@lifelawplanning.com, and especially if they want to take advantage of my providing these documents for free.
Okay.
And I will set up, what I have been doing is setting up Zoom conferences, much like we're doing here. So they can be at their comfort of their own home. They don't have to leave, especially if they have young children in their virtual schools and all.
Right.
But we can do a lot virtually. It is a blessing for us to have this. I'm also still able, fortunately, we can still do a lot with probate actions, and I do probate, and I still do family law. We could still continue those hearings. I believe this is going to be a new era for our court systems to also facilitate more technology to be able to facilitate helping people get their cases pushed through the system or go through the system.
Okay.
But they can set up a Zoom conference with me. I would love to meet, if not a telephonic conference. That's basically where I'm going right now. And once we are off our house, the stay-at-home order, then I will be gladly opening up my doors once again.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, that wraps it up for today. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the little bell so that you'll get an indication as to when we have our videos coming through. If you're watching this on Facebook, please like and share. And thank you so much for watching. Alina, thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Oh, thank you, and
Take care.
everyone stay healthy.
Stay healthy. Yeah. Take care, Alina. Bye.
Bye-bye.